Ripples on Deep Water, by Orphan Account, on AO3. Episode 18, Chapter 18, Believer. Izuku had tried to tell Hitoshi. Katsuki had taken out his hearing aids because he figured out how Hitoshi's quirk worked. The siren call wouldn't be enough. But Hitoshi was already out in the arena, thinking he was ready to fight Katsuki. Izuku's heart had felt ripped to shreds as he was forced to do nothing but watch. The latest and loudest explosion he has ever seen Katsuki produce rocket towards his friend. Hitoshi's scream had originally been artificial, but quickly turned to pain when he was thrown back and thrown across the arena into the wall. His shrieks of pain from the sensation of being burnt alive and thrown like a rag doll amplified by the siren call until he passed out, and Recovery Girl and Midnight hurried him off the field. The crowd had been silent, shocked by the absolute brutal display of power. All these who have been disrupted by his fight with Uraraka were shocked now. Nobody cheered for Katsuki as he stalked off the field. Izuku didn't really remember much in his haze of panic and fury, but Mei said he went nuts and almost broke into the nurse's office while Hitoshi was being brought in. Izuku sat by his friend's bedside now, carding his fingers through Hitoshi's hair and trying to keep his tears at bay. He was gonna be strong. For Hitoshi. He wouldn't suffer any major scars. That wouldn't fade within a few weeks physically. It wasn't your fault, Mei tells him, taking his wrist gingerly, her callous hands warm on his skin. Yeah, it is, he murmured. It was the bastard's fault, Mei insisted. Listen to me, Izuku. Hitoshi unleashed the siren call after Bakugou sent the explosion. Hitoshi would have ended up like this, hearing aids or no. Izuku felt wretched as he looked at Hitoshi, laying with his face still twisted in pain. I know you're right, but I should have been faster. She squeezes his wrist gently. Izuku, I need to tell you something I did. But I don't want you to hate me. Izuku looked to his best friend. She had never, not once, used his real name. I could never hate you, he said honestly. Mei looked extraordinarily doubtful, but she spoke anyways, starting to cry as she talked about what she thought she had done wrong. And somehow, she managed to make him smile, even when she believed she would make him angry. But how could Izuku get mad at his first best friend for caring? Shouta was fuming. Hisashi tied one of Shota's hands down to keep him from bursting out of the commentary box and expelling that brat on the spot. Shinsou was capable, yes, but lacked formal battle training outside of Ezmura and some practice with the support items, and was a general education student. Bakugou had no restraint, and that wasn't always a good thing, especially with his quirk. If Shinsou had been any closer, he'd be scarred for life, and it would be likely he would have experienced serious ear damage if it hadn't been for Midoriya's sound-canceling earbuds. Shouta was haunted by many things. Never before had it been the screams of a student as they were brutalized by another. Izuku faced Katsuki with a poisonous mix of fear and anger in his heart. Katsuki looked back with a smirk and a gaze full of malice. Ruby met Emerald, and Izuku's breath caught. Ruby met Emerald, and Izuku's breath caught. Look who made it into UA. Katsuki growled. You. Guess who made it into UA? Katsuki gloated. Me. With each breath, Izuku's anger grew. With each breath, Izuku's fear grew. Hitoshi was laying in the hospital cot, covered in burns, and it was all Katsuki's fault. Mei's vision, 1.0, sat mangled and charred in his hand. And it was all Katsuki's fault. His heart sped up as he pictured his unconscious friend, hand tightening on his belt. His heart sped up as he pictured his only friend, hanging tight on his UA letter. Izuku's legs wouldn't move, but he didn't want them to. He was fighting for Hitoshi. Izuku's legs wouldn't move, and he begged them to. He had to get back to Mei. I hope you remembered me, Deku. Katsuki growled, ready to make Izuku bleed. That's a gift to remember me by, Deku. Katsuki growled, leaving Izuku to bleed. Izuku reached up and tugged off his scarf, tying it around his waist. Izuku's shaky fingers dialed the numbers, barely able to speak. He looked at his bully, steeling his heart as he rolled his shoulders. He heard the sirens, just as he would fade to black. An ugly burn scar decorated most of the left side of Izuku's throat, the scarred skin reaching over his collar and below his shirt. In its splendor, just above his collarbone, a perfect handprint, stone silver. Sure fucking did, Ka-chan. He spat, mockingly. Let's dance. He could hear nothing but his own breathing for a moment. The announcement of their names was distant, and to Izuku, it sounded like the wave of an ocean against a trash-covered beach, indifferent to the boy writhing in pain on the sand, his blood mixing with the water. Start! Izuku activated his boots and shot up, avoiding the initial blast, every bit as massive as the one that put Hitoshi in the hospital bed, and diving at Katsuki, drawing his twin light rods and slashing out with them. He was met with a pair of smaller, more forced explosions that sent him reeling back, regaining his footing quickly. You're just a pathetic fucking Deku! Katsuki advanced with the speed of a cheetah, sending another pair of explosions at Izuku, that he rolled under, popping back up. Forget the reject. You're quirkless! Izuku grits his teeth, throwing 3 pink bombs at the center of the arena. That made Katsuki hesitate, taking in his new change to the terrain, before using an explosion-powered jump over the pink sludge. What the hell can someone like you achieve? He shook away the memory. He wasn't Deku anymore. He was Izuku, and he was going to make damn sure Katsuki knew that, if he won this fight or not. You really think you could beat me, Deku? Katsuki roared, charging at Izuku. Izuku stood, simply waiting, before swiping his foot out. Katsuki dodged it, of course, and flung out his arm, which Izuku grabbed with ease and twisted cruelly, shoving Katsuki back several steps. You've led with the same right hook since you were 4, Izuku told him flatly, hundreds of beatings flashing through his mind's eye. Every instinct was screaming at him to run, to cower, to be Deku again, because that's the best way for him to survive. But he couldn't. Izuku never had anyone on his side before. Someone willing to face down the demons that crawled from his past. Chlorines and Pearl forcing Katsuki to leave him alone when he was panicking. Arya and Hanaka snatching his headband to keep him distracted. Mei trying to beat Izuku so she could take Katsuki on in his stead. Hitoshi getting put in the nurse's office, unconscious, for an indeterminable period of time because he did his damnedest in a last-ditch attempt to keep the explosive bully from Izuku. A year and a half ago, Izuku had nobody by his side that would have taken a pair of cut for him, and his friends sacrificed so much for him, placing pain, dignity, to save him. Izuku was going to be himself, truly and wholly, and pay off that debt. He took a few steps forward, and Katsuki threw a series of punches. Izuku jumped out of the way before jumping forward and slamming the tip of one of his lightning rods into Katsuki's chest. Katsuki yelled in pain as he jerked back, taking a few steps back, and getting his feet stuck in Pink Bomb. He looked down and scowled before sending another massive blast at Izuku, who flew upwards again before throwing a blue bomb at the Pink Bomb. There was a very, very special reaction the two had with each other he and Mei called purple designation, Within seconds, the pink sludge turned lilac. Katsuki's face twisted in confusion before he sneered. What? Are you trying to beat me with some DIY slime, Deku? Right on time, the now lilac slime exploded into massive, writhing tentacles that enveloped Katsuki and pulled him down under until he was really, tightly, truly stuck in the sludge. Not head nor hair visible under it. Izuku drifted down and tore the quickly hardening sludge away from Katsuki's face, letting the violent teen breathe before he backed away. There was a long silence as Izuku took a scarf around from his waist and wrapped it around his neck, concealing the silver handprint once again. Bakugou is immobilized. Midoriya wins the sports festival. Katsuki's screams of fury is drowned out by the roar of the crowd. Izuku was so done being afraid. The holidays really hit me hard, and let's just say working retail in the holidays is hell. But all those late nights up, setting up everything, everything was chaotic. And even though we had like a good couple brace periods, like a good couple days of like no holidays, that was like the recovering days. Sorry. Like, you know, cleaning up, getting ready for New Year's, stuff like that. So I'm here, I'm back. Not to mention, I celebrated Christmas also on Friday. So yeah. And then we celebrated New Year's, and like everything was just hectic. Just know that everything was hectic. And that's why it took me a while to upload again. I'm not going off the face of the planet. I didn't have many videos saved up yet. I'm gonna try to work on it today, even though I have work in like, technically, I'm supposed to be heading out in an hour and 30 minutes. And my throat is killing me today, but like, it's not like to the point where it's killing me, and plus, it's not like I'm not gonna be able to rest my voice, because in an hour and a half, I'm gonna be at work, and can't rest my voice at work, obviously, right? I work retail. I work as a cashier at a food court in the mall. I'm not gonna be resting my voice. It's Saturday. I'm not gonna be able to rest my voice, but that's okay. I'm drinking plenty of water, plenty of tea. Do not worry about me. I am taking care of myself, taking care of me. Do not worry. This was a really interesting chapter. I do love that Izuku won. I absolutely love that. As I said, that's what I was rooting for. I wanted Izuku to win, and I'm glad that he won. The next chapter is chapter 19. Haunting. Summary: the Izuku Protection Squad meets Shouta, and the dad instincts is invoked. I hope Katsuki gets expelled. Yeah. I just hope. I mean, one of the ships is Bakugou Katsuki / consequences. So, hopefully, he actually gets consequences. Maybe not like expelled. I feel like this fic really makes him like really, really shitty, like overly shitty. Right? So I don't think like there's, I don't know. Maybe there will be some, you know, coming back from this, and him, you know, I don't know, you know? Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day and night. Link to my socials are in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.